My name is Will Cox, and I am a construction manager working for a general contractor in the Washington, D.C. area. I'll start with a typical day of someone at an entry level. Entry level here at Davis Construction, their title is project engineer, and you can be a project engineer that oversees the office management of a project, helping manage paperwork and documentation on the front ends, including schedule and budget. There's also the field route. They are also project engineers, but they're really more of the daily supervision and daily coordination of the work on the site. I say office and site or field because we work in two different venues. Everybody spends time on a job site, but they have very different responsibilities and very different locations that they perform their tasks. Project engineers generally oversee a handful of trades. When I say trades, I mean like plumbers, electricians, drywall subcontractors. They are responsible for a small amount of trades, and generally simpler ones at entry level, just so you can get your feet wet and understand the process of construction. And as you grow up, project engineers become assistant project managers and project managers. You generally grow by managing more complicated trades and start managing the project as a whole. You get more involved of the schedule and the budget for the whole project versus the individual trades. And as you become project manager, you go to senior project manager, executive, vice president. As I mentioned earlier, it becomes more about managing people to manage the projects versus managing the projects themselves. My favorite thing about working in construction is that at the end of the day, there's something tangible that you can point to and say that you built or you were a part of. It worked out very well for me when I was first started dating my then girlfriend, now wife, and her dad would come to visit, and we'd have lunch across the street from a project that I built. So it's nice to say that. But it is really nice to what we do, especially in a city like DC, is going to be part of the city skyline for 30 plus years. It's something that you can always continue to be proud of, no matter how stressful the actual build itself was. There's really two pathways you can go. You can work your way up through the trades, going to starting as a laborer, an unskilled labor, and going to trade schools or getting on the job experience in the field. That career path generally builds to a field supervision route. The more traditional path to project management is going through and getting some type of engineering or architecture or construction management degree from an accredited university or college. I would say, if you're interested in construction, figure out what type of construction that you want to work in. For me, I knew that I wanted to build buildings. So I went to, the program I did kind of limits me to building buildings, but I'm okay with that. I would take, the nice thing about my major at Penn State was that it had specialties in electrical, mechanical, structural, and construction management. So I would try and figure out the different types of constructions that are out there and try and work, try and find something that gives you exposure to those different fields. I would highly recommend getting a summer job in construction and, kind of bouncing around. Like if you want to be in construction and you want to build buildings, work for a plumber one summer, work for an electrician, work for a drywall subcontractor, figure out what you want to do. That's probably a good experience to figure out how the whole process works in the field, but what you do and what you don't like about the industry. Good problem solving skills are great because we are constantly running into conflicts. It's generally coordination of work that has to go into place. And it's also personnel conflicts. So I think you'd want to have good people skills as well. You're constantly, I mentioned we work in a group setting, so you're constantly working with your team and collaborating, but you're also mediating between client demands and subcontractor demands. A general contractor, construction manager is generally in between. We don't put any work in place and we don't pay for anything. We're almost like a pass-through. So you have to be able to facilitate and build relationships with the different types of parties you deal with in construction. I get asked this question quite frequently by college students who are looking to start their careers. But my answer is always that my favorite project is the one that I'm currently working on or just finished. And I say that because there's always something new that we're doing with each project that we work on, whether it's a new technology that we use to build the project, like virtual construction and models for coordination, or a project that we're using a new material type. We've started implementing carbon cure into concrete, so like different building materials that we're using. It's always exciting to see what the next thing is going to be.